Guys, take a look at this picture of Annie Little from the beautiful funeral that she was a part of. So friends and family from around the world attended to pay their respects on December 29th. The trouble is, it was not her funeral at all. That was supposed to be the funeral of a different woman, Val-Jean McDonald. Confused yet? I'm just getting started. Wearing Miss McDonald's clothing and jewelry, Annie Little was prepared and brought to the wrong funeral for an open casket viewing due to an epic mix-up by a Bronx funeral home, McCall's Bronxwood Funeral Home. Donald Little, Annie's son, was grieving his mother's death, preparing for her actual open casket funeral a few days later when he received a disturbing phone call. The funeral home informed Donald Little, after this funeral mishap just happened with the wrong woman at the funeral, that he could no longer have an open casket viewing for his mother because after this funeral mix-up, they brought Annie Little's body back to the funeral home and they cremated Annie Little. Now, the Little family does not believe in cremation, but those were the McDonald's family wishes, so that's what happened to Annie. Annie Little was supposed to be laid beside her late husband, a Korean War veteran, at the Calverton National Cemetery, where all the families should end up. I met Donald Little and his attorney, Robert DiGianni, in Brooklyn to talk about this horrific mix-up.
Well, I'm just heartbroken. Like, I'm living in a nightmare. It's like surreal. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my mother, and that hurt.
Now, I also asked his lawyer where we stand and what's next for everybody.
Litigation process will help force answers because so far they have not been forthcoming. And this is a tragedy for everybody affected, even the funeral. Clearly, to get information and to shed light on everything for the Little family, for them to know what happened to their mother, to Annie Little, it looks like that's why I have to be involved.
I spoke via telephone to Richard McDonald, one of Val-Jean McDonald's sons. He told me it's a complete shame what happened. He and all of his family members and brothers paid their respects to the wrong woman as their mother sat alone in the funeral home. He told me that he knew that she looked different. They all thought something was off because it didn't really look like their mother, but they kind of skirted it aside because one, they thought it was impossible to have the wrong woman at their funeral, and two, she had been battling a very aggressive form of cancer and maybe that changed her facial appearance. So I actually went to McCall's funeral home to see if they had anything to say with me, and I was quickly asked to leave, but they did provide Donald Little with a letter of apology. On behalf of the funeral home, please accept my apologies for mistakenly having your mother, Annie Little, cremated on December 30th in place of Val-Jean McDonald. I reached out to the Division of Cemeteries and also the Bureau of Funeral Directing. They're both currently conducting an investigation.